First, to a man who is aiming for a record with the title So Long I've Got to Read It, the solo, non-stop, around the world in a Class 40 record, and he needs our help to achieve that goal, that dream. He is, ladies and gentlemen, Alec.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alex, come in, take a seat. So, before we talk about going around the world and that record, you barely caught your breath from breaking another record, which was round the Isle of Wight. Slightly more manageable than the world. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's not quite as far, but it's quite a tricky record to get. This was just over a week ago on the 2nd of January. I set the solo round the island record for a 40-foot yacht. So very cold, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Very holiday snaps from that. So what are the difficulties of achieving that particular record?
Well, part of it, because you're doing a complete 360 circuit, at some point you're going to be going upwind. And obviously the boats are slowest when they're going upwind, so you want to maximise the time when you're off the wind. So it's a very, very specific weather window that we were looking for. And we've been waiting for months and months for the right weather for this.
The record you were trying to break? And
I set the record for a 40-footer. So it's a fairly new class of record.
So it's the first 40 foot.
It's the first. It's the first one.
Okay. So you're quite passionate about 40-footers. Why?
I love the 40s. I mean, I've raced all my life. I've sailed since I was a child. I got involved with the mini transat boats a few years ago, and I spent a few years racing in France in these little carbon fibre dinghies with a lid, I call them. And they were great fun. I was looking at maybe doing the mini transat in that, but then I got sidetracked and started racing in the Class 40s, which is just a bigger version of that, a miniature version of what Alex Thompson's racing around the world at the moment. And I thought these are just awesome boats. They're a lot more affordable than the Open 60s. I mean, they're $1 million budgets for those things. But the Class 40, there are some constraints within the rules that keep the costs down. And I thought, if I could ever get one of these, I want to race one of these around the world again. So I was looking at ways of doing that.
You did the Isle of Wight in 6 hours 20 odd minutes.
6 hours 20, yeah.
We had the crew from Team Fado on the other day, who raced their trimaran round, broke the record in just over 2 hours. You want to get yourself one of those boats?
Oh, that was a very impressive record, that was. I mean, the speeds they're doing 30, 40 knots. You know, I'm in the teens most of the way around the island, which for a monohull is not bad going. If you can average, you know, double figures around the Isle of Wight, that's not bad going at all for a fixed keel monohull. But the trimarans, I mean, I take my hat off to those guys. I just can't imagine what it must be like on deck doing those sorts of speeds. It must be awesome.
And you've had a few records. You've already got a record or two under your belt, and now you've touched on the business angle already. What do you think of Alex's plan for selling pixels, effectively crowdfunding the campaign?
Well, I think it's a really good way. I mean, these projects are expensive. Class 40, yes, it's smaller, but the projects are terrifically expensive. There are two things to crowdfunding. One is the obvious thing, is helping to generate the funding. But the other really important part of crowdfunding is you generate a community and you create a community around your project. And that every time you enlist a new person into your community, they become an outlet, and you know, they'll talk to 2 others, and the 2 others talk to 2 others, and it's like pyramid selling. It absolutely gets the message and it gets the story out there. So there's a double whammy benefit. One is you raise the money, but the other is you enhance your project community and you create a much, much bigger project. So, you know, crowdfunding is a really interesting way and to many extents, I wonder often if commercial projects, that is projects with a single brand down the side, wouldn't love to have some of what crowdfunding provides, but they can't have it because you either share it or you don't share it. So it's an interesting dilemma.
Ladies and gentlemen, best of luck to you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Golding, Alex Ali.
Thank you.